You have no idea how magnificent you are. None. You know that? You know, you think your life is about getting up and going to work in the morning, then taking care of the kids, going grocery shopping. It's about having the relationships you have. You think it's about making money, saving money. It's about not making enough money. It's about feeling secure or not feeling secure. You think that's what your life is. You think it's about accumulating enough, making it happen, getting it done. You have no idea how magnificent you are. In fact, you have no idea who you are. That's the premises for this whole talk. No idea. I see some thinking going on there. I like it. I could say, my name is Paula Zabkar, and I live in Wilmington, North Carolina, and I work for New Hanover County Public Schools, and I'm an energy manager. That is not who I am. Okay, let me start again. I was born in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, to Tony and Marianne Zabkar, a long time ago, 1958 to be exact. I went to high school. I said, I'm going to college, first one in our immediate family. Went to Penn State University, graduated, moved to the Washington, D.C. area, worked there for, I don't know, about 15 years. While I was there, I played sports. I got another degree, graduate degree. I had cancer, went through chemotherapy, went through surgery, went through radiation. In 1996, I moved here to North Carolina. And for a small stint, I went out to Utah and worked on an alfalfa ranch and sang in a karaoke bar for a while. I didn't make a lot of money that year. I came back to North Carolina, and I've been here ever since. Renee and I just celebrated our 12-year anniversary. May 3rd. We have some animals, we have some pets. We live at 2303 Belvedere Drive. Is that who I am? You know, that's not anywhere near who I am. That's a little bit about my life, what happened. A little bit, you know, yours could fill a book, so could mine. But it's absolutely not who I am. What I want to talk about is, who are you when you strip away all that stuff? When you strip away all the careers you've had, everything you've built up, all the money you have in the bank, where you live, which college degree you have, how insecure you feel. When you strip away all that stuff, what's left? That's what I want to talk about. What's left? Because I believe that's who you really are. So let's put this all in a little context here, okay? Could you have the lights, please? And let's look at something that I think will help us put this in context. These are some pictures of the universe. Our little orb of Earth isn't anywhere near where this is. Energy is moving and realigning itself. Stars are born, and here we are, this little aggregate of cells in this body, with infinite energy and intelligence for sure. But here we are, spinning around on this Earth, on this orb. And this is what's being created. Light years away, these images can't even get back to us, some of them in our lifetime. That's the perspective that I want you to have this morning. Big. Creation is huge. And we're huge. You see what I mean? What's left when we strip away, can you have the lights please? When we strip away all this stuff that we think our life is. Because here we are on this orb, and we're getting up and going to work and driving our car and feeding our bodies. And all this is going on. All this creation is happening. We're big, and we don't know it. And I want to share a story about someone who's had an experience of the bigness that we are. How many have read this book by Anita Morjani, Dying to Be Me? She had an experience that I think speaks to the expansiveness that we are. She was diagnosed with lymphoma in 2002. And in February 2nd of 2006, she was rushed to the emergency room, not expected to live. She was in a coma. She had no flesh on her bones. and her body was filled with tumors, large tumors. So the doctors were talking to her husband and her mother saying, that she's not going to make it. She's not going to live. This is it. And at that time, Anita started expanding away from her body. She started observing what these folks were doing to her. And this is what she describes as her experience. She said, "It didn't feel as though I'd physically gone somewhere else. It was more as though I'd awakened. My soul was finally realizing its true magnificence. And in doing so, it was expanding beyond my body in the physical world. It extended further and further outward until it encompassed not only this existence, but it continued to expand into another realm. And that realm was beyond time and space, and at the same time, it included it. Love, joy, ecstasy, and awe poured through me, around me. It engulfed me." She says, "In my heightened awareness, it was indescribable what it was. Despite my best efforts to explain it, it was indescribable. The clarity was amazing. In that state of clarity, I also realized that I'm not who I always thought I was. Here I am without my body, race, culture, religions, or beliefs. Yet I continue to exist. Then what am I? Who am I? I certainly don't feel reduced or smaller in any way. On the contrary, I haven't been this huge, this powerful, or this all-encompassing ever. There I was, without my body, or any of my physical traits, yet my pure essence continued to exist. I was transformed in an unimaginable clarity as I realized this expanded, magnificent essence that was really me, the truth of my being. Yes, and wow. That's what we really are. But you know what? We don't believe it. Because we believe that our life out here is what is really real, don't we? How many times a day do I think about this? None, many days. Maybe in my meditation, maybe in my practice. But do I really realize how magnificent I am? I don't think we believe it. And while Anita was having this experience, she realized that about her life. And she asked herself these questions while she was in this near-death experience. She said, just look at my life path. Why, oh why, have I always been so harsh with myself? Can you relate to that? Why was I always beating myself up? Why was I always forsaking myself? Why did I never stand up for myself and show the world the beauty of my own soul? Why was I always suppressing my own intelligence and creativity to please others? I betrayed myself every time I said yes when I meant no. Why have I violated myself by always needing to seek approval from others just to be myself? Why haven't I followed my own beautiful heart and my spoken truth? Why don't I realize this? Why didn't I realize this when I was in my physical body? How come I never knew that we're not supposed to be so tough on ourselves? That's the expanded self. Is the one who knows that that's not true. All these beliefs and worn out things that we believe about ourselves is not the truth of what we are. It's not. But we keep on believing it, and we keep on struggling, and we keep on suffering. We do. But that's not what we are. That's not who we are. Anita says this too. She says, people take their life and their problems too seriously. Huh? I'm guilty of that this week, taking my problems and my life too seriously. She says that people have lost the ability to see the magic in life. Have you lost that? Does that seem more like drudgery than magic to you? Sometimes it does to me. And I think it's because we're not willing to give up the fears that we hold on to. We are afraid of everything. We're afraid of not being liked. We're afraid of not being loved. We're afraid we're going to make a mistake. Whew. Stop the presses. We're afraid somebody's not going to like us. We're afraid we're going to fail. We're afraid we're not good enough. We're afraid we don't matter enough. And all those fears limit us. They limit us from expressing this truth of what we really are. All of it. Anita says this that I think trumps the fear. And while she was in that near-death experience, she said, I just need to be me, fearlessly. I just need to be the beautiful, expanded me, fearlessly, without fear, with nothing to hold me back, to just be myself fearlessly. That's it. So how do you do it? How can we be ourselves fearlessly? Well, I wanted to share a few examples with you. There was a senior at the University of New Hampshire who was a track star there. His name was Cameron Lyle. And when he was a freshman, they took a swab from the inside of his mouth because he had volunteered to be on the bone marrow transplant registry. And so right before his senior year, he had an opportunity. He was the only match in the entire registry for someone in desperate need of bone marrow. And you know what he said? I didn't have a second thought. I didn't have a second thought. Of course, I said yes right away. And it was only afterwards that I thought, wow, what's this going to impact? You know, I had planned on going out pretty big as a track star, but I didn't have a second thought. And there was a picture of him on the internet with a sign like this from his bed, and it said, be the match. Be the match. And where did that come from? He was allowing the brilliance that he is to express in the world. Yeah. So no senior track season, but oh, by the way, I helped save a life, huh? Yeah. There's another story, and this is one that comes from the Boston Marathon bombing. Victoria McGrath was panicked and in pain after shrapnel drilled into her legs when the bombs went off at the finish line. A man noticed and stopped to comfort her, and his kindness had such an impact on the young woman that officials felt compelled to reach out to him on her behalf. He said, I had a gut instinct that this was a malicious explosion. And what did he do? He rushed toward the blast site to see if he could help. I'm not sure I would have rushed toward the blast site, but he did. He said, I just saw the terror in her eyes. She was obviously in extreme pain. If there was nothing else I could do, I could talk to her, he said. She asked me not to leave. She was holding my hand. She asked me to keep holding her hand. And there was some kind of connection on a spiritual level, I would have to say. Just when I told her it was going to be okay, she believed me. I can't describe how calm she was at that point. Her strength helped me through the situation. She's such an amazing person. That is the essence, the bigness of what we are flowing through into this world. I think. How else can you explain it? Who would run toward the blast site? He did. He knew. He was coming from a bigger place. Tyler Dodd is his name. Pretty big, I think. Psalm 3, verse 5 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not rely on your own insight." Don't rely on the insight that you take from what's happening around you, in other words. Rely on the bigness of yourself. Rely on the hugeness of yourself. Rely on your magnificent self. Don't rely on what's going on in the world. You know what happens when that is what you do. You can be led down the wrong path right quick. But rely on something bigger. Rely on that place that when you think about the universe and space and the limitless of it, rely on that. And when you have a problem, when a problem comes up in your life, when you're feeling resistance, when you're feeling anger, when you're feeling anything less than love, just stop. Just stop, take a breath, be still, go for a walk, sit on the couch, take a bath, meditate, hold your cat on your lap and stroke him. Be still. And know, just know for just a tiny, tiny bit, if that's what you can muster, that you are so much greater than what's going on in the world. So much. You're big and beautiful and amazing and magnificent. That's the truth of who you really are. Just believe it for a little if that's what you can. And let yourself expand into the love that you already are. That's it, folks. And I will guarantee you, here's a guarantee from Paula Zabkar, whatever that means, that if you live your life like this, it will be fulfilling, amazing, beautiful. It will be so big. That's a guarantee. And I hope you decide to practice that way. Because I love it. I love being magnificent. And I love knowing that you are too. And that there's no separation. So be it, know it, magnificent. Amen.